Hey guys, it's Minoan here, and I decided I'd start my new player guide that I've been wanting to work on for a while, and this video will focus on how to pick the best profession or class for yourself. I noticed in some of the other videos I watch for new players that you were given kind of terrible advice. At least the one I watched was kind of like, these are the easier classes, and whichever one the description's best. There's actually a really great shortcut that you can use to find out what the profession or class actually plays like without having to level at all. So as you can see here, I'm on a very new character. My offhands are locked. I'm level 2. I can't equip this dagger in my offhand because that requires level 6. Well, guess what? You can get around that. All you have to do is go to the PvP lobby. And I want you to understand here, I'm not telling you to PvP. Well, I might sort of tell you to PvP depending on what your account looks like. But the real reason you're here is because the PvP lobby actually gives you effectively access to everything on your class that you have available on your account. If you have elite specializations unlocked, you can immediately use them without using hero points to unlock them. So I just select Evoker here, and it won't even let me click on the training panel to load it. So like if you're in the PvP zone, the rules are kind of relaxed a little bit. I can equip the dagger. This method won't teach you everything about how to play your class and how it feels, but you'll have a very good idea of how it feels and whether or not you appreciate the playstyle by actually engaging with it. And a simple example I can give you is that when I was first playing, I thought I liked Engineer, and it can't swap weapons in combat, which you're supposed to use as kits instead. And I didn't quite realize that, and I only really liked one of the kits, and I feel like if I had spent more time experimenting with those, that maybe I wouldn't have gotten quite as much into Engineer and probably played another class more. And so, spending some time with the class, figuring out how combat feels on the different classes is probably the best way to do it, instead of just going with, oh, this is the easy one, or I think I like this one. So the first place you want to know about is this area right here, the Market Waypoint. If you go to the Market Waypoint, you can talk to the Weapons Master, and he has one of every weapon type. So that's an important thing to know, number one. And you're probably thinking, well, what if it's a super new account? I don't have any money. I got you covered. I'm actually going to do a playthrough on how to get a little bit of cash to start with if you are on a completely fresh account. The long and the short of it is you can play a PvP match, and even if you lose, you're going to get about 15 silver, which will be more than enough to experiment with here. But I'm not going to show that in the main part of the video here. And as always, I'm going to ask you to like and subscribe if you appreciate my content. But yeah, so getting back to it, the first thing you want to ask yourself when you're experimenting with a build is, am I interested in power white damage, or am I interested in condition damage, which is like the ticks you see when you're attacking something? And you can tell if a weapon is more Condi or power oriented based on how often you see Condis in its attack. So like if I hover over sword, the auto attack only does burning sometimes. I'm going to guess that's mostly a power weapon. If I look at hammer right here, it looks like it's a pretty strong Condi weapon, except it doesn't have really much Condi on any of the elements except maybe fire, which for an elementalist really isn't a strong Condi weapon. But then if I look at scepter, I have bleeding and burning on 2 of my attunements, which is about kind of what you're looking for if you're doing conditions on an elementalist. I would say staff is a bad candidate because the auto attacks don't apply Condis at all. And then you can do the same thing for judging offhands. Okay, so I'm gonna say, okay, I'm interested in a Condi build, and okay, so I'm gonna use scepter, and what's a good offhand to use? Scepter and warhorn. Let's just do that because I have access to them. Now I don't know if you get weapon master training by default here, because it comes with Secrets of the Obscure, and even my free-to-play account doesn't have it accessed yet, so I can't tell you that specifically, but I can tell you that any elite specialization that you have unlocked on your account you can use. Okay, and so now that we've picked our weapons, we're going to do those. We need to pick some good traits, and so fire is usually good for conditions on elementalists, so I'm going to go ahead and do burning precision. That looks like a good one. And then we don't want to do power instead, I don't think. So that's strike damage. Okay, gain might for any skill. Okay, so we'll do this one. That's a good one for condition damage. It's the only one that does burning out of those 3 choices. This one basically turns your burning into a power damage scaling thing. And then we'll do this one. Sunspot afflicts burning. So something to think about too when you're looking at traits is that you get some changes for free. So like I get a fire aura when I attune to fire, and you get reduced. I get reduced recharge on fire for just having this trait line unlocked. And every trait line has some passives, and then it has other passives that you choose. And this is like the Grandmaster trait. It's like the strongest one in the trait line. So if we're doing condition damage, we probably want to do earth. And so let's do, increases the duration of bleed, so that would be good. And then condition damage based on toughness. And immobilize, inflicts bleed. This is all defensive. And so I'm going to go for electric attunement because that one's stronger. And then looks like fire gives us... Okay, so that's strike damage. So just as kind of a note, when you're looking at traits, if it just says damage on it, generally it means strike damage, the white damage. If it says, it will only be condition damage if it says so in some way. Okay, so now that we've picked those and we're just messing with them, now, there are some boons you don't have. Oh, the other thing I want to say is you can select the PvP area has like its own set of gear, and you get to it by going to the gear and then clicking on your PvP tab. And it scales based off of what you have equipped. So, whatever weapons you have equipped will be your skills. And then these 3 things will determine your relic and your stats. And so I can just pick different things here. Because we want to do condition damage, I'm going to pick something with a high condition damage attribute. Condition damage specifically also scales off of expertise, but we don't have access to that here. But again, we're just getting a feel for things more than like, this is how it plays in every single instance. So I'm going to just kind of... Actually, there's a fractal here. Oh, it does have Relic of the Fractal. Okay. I'm going to do Carrion. Okay. Let's do that one. Okay, so then we're going to do Burning. And does our Signet's permanent? We're going to do this one so we can do county damage with our Signets. And we're going to just do this. Okay, so now I have a build selected. I picked my weapons. I have condition damage weapons equipped on my Elementalist. I'm going to go over here. Now, any class except Elementalist and Engineer works off of both of its weapons sets. You can swap mid-combat. They can't. So if you want to kind of get a more realistic test of what a build feels like, then kind of set up 2 sets of weapons on any class that isn't an Elementalist or an Engineer. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm just going to hit this guy with all these things. And then I just basically wreck him with that, and I'm like, okay, that's what it feels like to do condition damage on this guy. And then I'm just going to go ahead and finish him off. And I barely took any damage, so that was interesting. Okay, and let's say that I wanted to do power damage. Well, I already have a power damage weapon set here with Dagger, and then I could pick other traits here that support power damage. Fire is a good candidate, so we're going to do anything that gives us extra power here, and then you cannot lose from those basic skill charges more quickly. We're just going to do this. That's interesting. I'm going to see what it's like if I don't move attunements. And then I'm going to do this guy. And I'll give myself an arcane skill. Because it's supposed to give me ferocity. And then this. And there. Another note on power damage is that it kind of scales off of 3 stats. It scales off of power, that's how hard it hits. It scales off precision, that's how often it crits. And then ferocity is how high the crit is. Neither precision, none of the 3 affect condition damage at all. Condition damage is only affected by condition damage and expertise. There are some traits and there are some ways that you can apply more conditions under certain conditions, like critting. A lot of trait lines will give you, you inflict these conditions when you crit kind of thing. Okay, so this should do more power damage, and I'm going to do the same thing. And so that felt like he went down way, way faster. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so now I know what it feels like to have a power damage build on my Fox. I think I like that one way better than the condition damage. And so now I know kind of what to build, what I'm looking forward to. So one other note that I have here is when you're buying the weapons, the best way to know whether or not you can equip a weapon is whether or not it tells you you can. It actually says it when you hover over it on the vendor. The hero panel will tell you which weapons you can use, but it won't tell you if it's locked behind something like an expansion or something you don't have yet. The fastest way to know is by looking at this guy right here. So we can't use rifles, we can use pistols. Anyway, I wish someone had taught me this before when I was a noob. I spent a lot of time kind of playing through initial areas and and then deleting and starting over, and I think I wasted a lot of time. And I think where I could have just immediately zoned into here and used the cash that was on my account and been like, oh, I'm going to buy these weapons, and oh, now I can see kind of how this plays. And I wish someone had told me this. So yeah, that's the long and the short of it. Just try out the weapons that you want, try the classes you want, try the specializations out to see what they do. If you're on a free-to-play account, you might want to do some research into the elite specializations just so you understand how they work, and understand something to look forward to. But I would say if you don't like the base class, playing it for an elite class is probably not worth it, because the base class tells you the most about how the profession and class feels overall. So now I'm going to do a quick playthrough, starting from a completely free-to-play account, showing me doing a match and how you can get a little bit of extra cash, so that way you can start doing this immediately if you're interested. And it's the reason why I picked a PvP match is, as far as I know, it's the fastest way to get just a little bit of cash to be able to buy those weapons from the vendor over here. If you're bad at PvP, don't fret it. This isn't about the actual PvP. You get rewards even if you lose the match, and you'll get enough to do the hack, and that's all that matters, okay? Just bear with me. It takes about 15 minutes to do a match, and it's guaranteed not to be longer, so it's not terribly bad. I'm going to start off at the character creation screen here. So this is picking your race. I'm not going to go super in-depth in the different races, but I will say that I'm going to link in the description of this video the wiki where it shows what the different races are, kind of, and it even gives you example names. So if you want to be like super accurate RP, I'll give you the materials to do that. We're going to go with Sylvari because they're my favorite. So this is basically where you pick your class. They're not called classes in this game, they're called professions. One of them is locked behind Heart of Thorns, or I guess any of the earlier expansions, I guess I should say they changed it. Like, they have descriptions here. They tell you basically how hard they think the different classes are. So, you know, you'll have some idea. But if you want to do something more in depth, then you'll do what I'm about to show you. I'm going to go with Elementalist. Okay. So this is customization screen. We're not going to mess with that as much. This right here will be just kind of a, it's a headpiece, and it's just a cosmetic option. I'll go with the water-looking one. And then these options right here basically affect how NPCs respond to you and the options they'll give you. And then everything here affects your personal story. The personal story starts out with a lot of branches, and then it all converges with killing an elder dragon at the end of it. So like every time you create a character, if you pick different things here, you will get a different story leading up to that fight. Okay, I'm going to skip this story right here, but some people like it. Okay. Okay, so just looking at the game. Pinocchio, just sitting there. Okay, sometimes the hitbox matters. Some of the abilities, like if they cross the hitbox multiple times, will hit multiple times, and that's what you're noticing with this Elementalist ability right here. In fact, Elementalist is probably one of the classes that happens on the most. Oops, I did not dodge fast enough. I would be better at dodging if I fixed my keybinds, and I'll do that a little bit later. Oh. Okay, I'm going to skip this for now. Not ruin it too much. Okay, so notice that I already have 15 coin here, and I started from an empty character slate, none were there. That's carryover from other characters I had, so when you're doing this, you're kind of free to delete and restart over as much as you want. Your money will be saved between them, and that's going to be important. So here. So you have access to PvP almost first thing. It's just the double swords there at the top. And what we're going to do first is we're actually going to sign up for a PvP match. But before we do that, we're going to make our build. Okay. And so because everything's unlocked, we're going to pick some stuff. I'm going to go with water on Elementalist because it helps give it some more sustain. Basically, when you're setting up your character, you're going to want to pick a defensive line probably and some offensive ones. You're going to want things that increase either strike, white damage, or condition damage. And I'm just going with white damage because it's the easiest thing to just kind of explain. It scales off of power, precision, and ferocity. Power is how hard it hits, precision is crit chance, Condis don't crit, and ferocity is crit damage. Do we do a signet? Let's do the signet that does this one. We're going to do Signet of Earth 2. I like the minus 10% damage. Oh, this will be a troll thing to do. It revives people. Okay, so I have my build set up. So your weapon skills, the skills on the left depend on your weapon. The skills on your right are things that you set. If you have an elite spec equipped, then you'll have those available too. And then the other part we're going to do, so now that I've done that, we need to set our PvP build. And so in order to set your PvP build, you swap using this button to the double swords. And then you have all of these different amulets to choose from. I think Marauder is probably a good one because I'm going for white damage, but it also has some vitality. Berserkers is completely got glass cannon. Let's do that one. Okay. And then we're going to want cleansing here for some Condi clear. You know what? We'll do battle too. That's good. Might is a good one. Okay. And so we should be ready to queue. Before you queue, you want to make sure that you disable push. They're long and annoying. I believe stronghold is just combat. Okay. Oh, and the other thing you want to do before you start, and I'm actually going to say I'm not ready, is you want to set your dodge to one key. It's usually double tap, but that is not useful. Dodge, we are going to set that to R. At least for me, I'm setting it to R. I just think that's a lot easier to do. I'm just going to swap these. R. Oops. Hey. Right, and then we're going to set this to V. Okay. Now I'm ready. And even if you think you're bad, don't worry. This is unranked. It shouldn't matter. And people can queue in up to groups of 5 here, so it can be an absolute stomp. Depending, like, yes, it's possible that if you do this, you as the noob will be the reason they lose, but I really wouldn't fret it. It's not a big deal, and if you need to, just ignore anything happening here. Okay, here we go. Now, this particular map has the potential to snowball. And the way that PvP usually works is there's usually someone who goes quote-unquote home, which is, like, wow, I feel like this feels like a troll match. Usually one person goes home, one person goes mid. Well, you're not going to make it there. Okay. Okay, now my team is pushing mid. Okay. Uh-oh.
You've captured the quarry.
There's 2 of them there. It's funny.
You lost the waterfall. Hangs out, blade sharp. I feel furious. You've taken the graveyard.
Okay.
Element of water, attend me.
Then I baited them. Okay. Wait, why isn't that not hitting them?
Not enough energy. The waterfall is yours.
I guess I'm experienced enough that I'm just kind of wrecking in this core build. Usually the elite specs are stronger, but no one here really knows what they're doing, and so I am doing just fine. Deleted.
You've taken the graveyard.
This is funny. Is he gonna follow me? Is he gonna follow me? Is he gonna follow me? What?
Might and glory. I'm fading fast.
Whoa! Oh no.
I require assistance. I'm back.
Oh, see, my team was dumb. They didn't finish him fast enough. We would have rallied. But, funny story, we're taking the other point, so we're still going to be way ahead of them. This fight is going to cost them, even though they think they're doing well. We just have to keep them distracted mid.
You've captured the quarry. I feel furious. Much better. I recommend you run. You lost the graveyard.
Dude, your team is behind 100 points and you're saying easy. Lol. Oh, this is hilarious. They're letting our warrior just go and take their lord. In fact, I should go probably go help them. These people are probably too dumb to know what's going on. Do, 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 do.
You've lost the quarry. You lost the graveyard.
Oh, it looks like the oh no, it looks like the Mesmer got to our guy. I don't know what our people are doing because they need a cap. But okay. The Necro is what is he doing? Okay, they are getting it.
The waterfall is yours. Ready for more.
Oh, geez. I've never been that great at using that form. Like, I feel like some people, when they use it, they're really, really, really good. But even during this, they basically lost map control because they were all clustered here, and we distracted them. So, how is our ranger doing? He's up against a Necro now. He's fine. It doesn't look like they're going to let us do a Lord Cap. We should probably just help people defend. I wanted to do a Lord Cap because I thought it would be funny with all the trash talking. Oh, that's funny. Okay.
You lost the graveyard.
I don't know how spent this Necromancer's going to be, or if his friends are going to come help him. Oh, geez.
Oh, thank you.
Nice. That's a funny reversal. I'll just let him take him. We should be able to finish them easy. The Warriors, how's the Paragon going to do against the Mesmer? That's the question.
The waterfall is yours.
Okay, they're all rushing. The Warrior got trashed.
You've taken the graveyard.
Okay, he decapped. That's good.
You've lost the quarry.
Okay, well, we got them down. And we got them down. Great.
I feel furious.
So when there's a fight going on, it's very important not to let them down your guys if there's two, if like one of your guys is down and theirs is down, because whenever somebody goes from, when there's two downed people and one of them die, if they had fought each other, the one that is downed, that is not dead, does what's called a rally. Ha. Okay, wow. I topped the charges on a core count. Anyway, so yes, you don't have to be drag. As always, if you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe and have fun messing around and finding out what you really like.